Hey everyone, welcome back to Williamson Ridge Outdoors. Today we are here with Lucas from Peaks Peak Hobby Homestead, and we are trying out the BX23S. And this is a part 2 actually of a little series of putting this BX through the paces. And so now we're actually going to try out the front loader. I've got some tight areas that Lucas thinks that this thing is going to be kind of shine in those spaces, because I've tried to use the M6060 in there and it's just too big in a lot of areas. So Lucas thinks this may be the solution.
I think it will. The Kubota BX, it's a small tractor. Everybody likes to make fun of me and say I've got a lawnmower. But there are things that you can do with this tractor that you can't do with a big tractor. So I'm really excited to see this in action and see him be able to get into those tight spots and spread the gravel where he needs it. Like it's made for it. Bet you ain't turning that M6060 around in the driveway. might swing that boom around the other way. Oh, is it? Yeah, there's a rock underneath it there. Yeah, sure enough. I guess not. Right. Well, and you do have a backhoe on the back too. All right, so was I exaggerating?
No, not at all. This is really a cool little unit to be able to use to move gravel and stuff. And you know, down there in that driveway, yeah, there's no way I could even come close to getting that M6060 in there. And you know, trying to do the fine work, I found myself grabbing one stone and like being able to be that precise with it, you know,
right.
Because you can see well, you can see the bucket good, and you can kind of, you know, that small amount of material and that fine work, you can actually do that, and you know, really eliminates the handwork involved in it. So I think with, you know, even just a little more time, that was just kind of run down there, dump it, and you know, kind of mess with it.
Yeah, and his first time using the loader on this machine.
Yeah, this is the first time running this machine completely, so it's, you know, it's definitely could get better with time, you know.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you, I'm realistic. I see the bucket on his M6060, and you can pretty well pull this thing up into it. There are a lot of things his tractor can do that this one cannot. But the small scale jobs, this thing just shines because you can get it in and out of places that you just can't get a big tractor.
Yeah, and you know, that's one thing that with the M6060 is that I love that tractor for moving a lot of material and lifting heavy weights and
sure.
that kind of stuff, but you cannot put it in the barn, you know, and a lot of the stuff we have, you might want to pull into a stall and try to, you know, move horse manure and that kind of stuff, and you can't do that with that M6060. It just will not go into those places. And then like down here on the driveway, you can see I spun that thing around right in the driveway.
Right.
And the M6060, the width of it is the driveway.
Yeah.
So trying to get that thing turned, or even trying to get, you know, the bucket to dump right there, you just can't do it.
Yeah. I've got a couple of neighbors that have 70, 80, 100 horse tractors, and both of them have called me to come and help clean out their barns because they don't want to do it by hand.
Yeah.
So it's a great little machine for that kind of work for sure. All right, guys, well, we got everything set up, and so we brought the Kubota BX out here into Paul's pasture so that he can test it out where he really wants to use this mower. He's got some spots that he feels like his zero turn is a little sketchy and it'll slide down the hill with him, and so he wants to see how the Kubota is going to handle that.
The zero turn, it does a pretty good job, but then also the casters are small, and where this is a horse pasture, that thing drops in those hoof prints all the time, and those casters bouncing up and down, it's pretty rough. But then you also get on the sideways place and you kind of lose a lot of control because of that bouncing, and you know, then you're sliding down the hill sideways, and once you get the zero turn sliding, you know, you could potentially run through a fence or something because it's hard to stop it.
Yeah.
So it gets pretty sketchy sometimes on these sideways places.
He's not actually mowing this to try to finish mowing the pasture today. He's just testing it out. So he's gonna go kind of searching around for some spots that are a little more difficult, spots that he's concerned about with a zero turn, and then also to see what the finish actually looks like when he's done. So we went ahead and brought the Kubota over here to the steepest part of his pasture that he had left unmowed because the zero turn kind of, you know, he has to fight it and he slides down the hill. And we wanted to see how stable the BX was on it. And I mowed the entire section and never felt uncomfortable, never felt tippy, never slid. So that just kind of shows the difference between mowing with a tractor versus mowing with a zero turn, and some of the reasons why you might want to do it with a tractor.
Well, Lucas, I really appreciate you bringing this tractor over. You don't even know how much that actually means, because getting to try one of these out and use it for all these purposes, I mean, it really is, you know, it's really an eye-opening thing, because, you know, you're used to the big tractor and you're thinking that you need a big tractor for so much stuff, but you really don't realize how capable this smaller tractor actually is. And when you call it the Swiss Army knife, I'm gonna have to say I agree with that. And you know, I may start referring to it more Swiss Army knife tractor than anything, because it really does do a lot of jobs, and it does a lot of jobs well. And like I say, I really appreciate you bringing it over. And this thing is, yeah, it's really eye-opening experience being able to use this thing and try it out.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate getting the opportunity to. You know, I love my Kubota tractor. I like to share it, but also, you know, it's the only tractor I've ever owned. And so I brag on it a lot, but I don't have the other perspective. So it's good to get to hear from somebody who operates bigger equipment and knows the, you know, all the things that a larger tractor can do, and you can see what this is capable of. So that's pretty cool too.
Well, one thing I did notice is, you know, like there's a little bit of a patience thing with this one, because it doesn't have the weight, it doesn't have quite the power of like a great big tractor, but you know, it will do what you need it to do, and it will do it a lot more precise. So like my M6060 is just so big, you can't do precision work with it. And yes, you can grade ground, you can use the loader, and you can smooth dirt out if you're in a big area and you have room to work it.
Right.
But for precision, close-up stuff, this little BX is awesome.
Well, and the fact that you can sit in the operator station and see pretty much everything. On a small tractor like that, you can see the edges of your bucket. You can know what you're doing with it, so that helps.
Yeah, I did notice that really, and the curved loader arms on this actually makes a big difference too. And just having that visual in the front, you know, even while I was messing in the driveway with those rocks and stuff, that, you know, I could see that in front of me clear as day, and what I was trying to do is pull a few rocks back, and with the big tractor, you can't see that kind of stuff. And you're really, it's a more of a feel thing, but if you feel it, you're moving a lot of dirt. And you may not want to be doing that. Once again, I appreciate you bringing it over, Lucas, and letting us really try this out. And Tamara, she did have to leave, and she got a few minutes on it, but she was smiling the whole time. So I think that might actually help me to, you know, convince the financial side of things.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. Maybe we could win her over if we got her in the driver's seat, and I think it might have worked.
So yeah, thanks again, Lucas, and until next time, keep it outdoors.